Hey everybody, what's going on? Excuse me. Eric, Dan, Wade, Rex, Arturo, Rosalind, Donald, Ed, Brian, Francois, Clarence. Don't recognize your name, but welcome to the stream. Rob K. Don't recognize your name either, but welcome to the stream. Sergio, Robert, Darren. Welcome everybody. Kevin, Ted, Saralyn, Robert, Rongamer, Al, Mark, Alan. How's it going? How's it going? Now, remember, this is subscribers only on the chat, so you got to be a subscriber to be able to chat with me. So click the button down here where the monster is, and you can chat on the stream. And guess what? If I'm no longer live, that only works while I'm live. If I'm no longer live, you'll have to leave a comment down below. What the heck? Got something on my shoulder. I don't know. It's probably the peach I was eating when a bit of it dropped off. Anyway, nothing like fresh peaches you pick right outside before you. I mean, nothing like it. Nothing like it. Anyway, welcome everybody. And I guess before we get into anything, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. What does that mean? It means, well, if you're a dum-dum, don't trade. That's what it means. First off, if you can't push the buttons in the right way, paper trade. All right. There's the substantial risk of losing your own money if you're trading with real money. And past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. So any system I have may not work tomorrow. It may start working again. It may never work again. That's the way it works. All right. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. We have to figure out something new in the future. I mean, that's kind of the way it works. All right. Things stop working. They start working again. They stop working. It's the nature of the beast. All right. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to buy anything out there. No stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. Every trade. Think about it. You have no edge in the market whatsoever. Every trade, buyer, seller, loser, winner. You tell me which one's which. Buyer, seller, winner, loser. Whichever way. And if you desire personal financial advice, don't ask me what to do. Somebody in the comments yesterday asked me what they should do. Just don't, you should not trade if you don't know what to do. All right. If you don't have a plan, don't trade real money. Simple as that. If you need somebody to tell you what to do, you got to hire, consult a financial advisor, which is not what I do. Just throwing that out there. All right. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't play one on YouTube. I don't play one on TV. I don't play one on Discord. All right. Same thing for me all the time. Maybe you get that from other gurus, especially if you private message them. They'll tell you what to do. That's not what that's not my game. Like, I can get in serious trouble for that. So please don't ask me what to do. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to tell you. All right. I don't know your personal situation. I don't want to know your personal situation. Now, can I, I can suggest things if we propose a hypothetical issue, and I would tell you what I might do in such a situation. But you're going to have to do that in my Discord server in public, all right? Not in a private message. All right. And the jobs report came out today. Well, unemployment claims, I guess you might say. And came in lighter. I mean, I think we're still light. Normally we lose about 250, 300,000. Think about it. There's 300 million people, 300 whatever million people in the United States. Like, almost something like 180 million of them have jobs. So out of 180 million people, for whatever reason, 200,000, 233,000 estimated, it's not even a real number, found themselves unemployed this week and tried to file an unemployment. It's probably bigger than that. I know a kid that got fired. And it was a funny story. Corporate contacted him and told him, do not take out the trash. You're not, whatever, trained to be taking out trash, whatever it was. And his manager at the location he worked at said, take out the trash. And he said, corporate said I'm not allowed to take out the trash. And I'm not, I don't have the training for it, whatever. And he's worked there for years. So it's not like this is new. He's taken out the trash plenty of times, but the manager fired him for insubordination for not taking out the trash. And you tell me. I mean, whatever. Anyway, crazy stuff goes on. So, I mean, 233,000. I mean, that's a low number compared to such a low percentage compared to how many jobs there are out there. I mean, that's and that's just a weekly number. If you look at it, just to put this in perspective, 233 divided by 100, let's just say 180 million workers, right? And then times 100 to get into percents. So we're talking about 0.1% of employees get fired or lose their job or whatever, find themselves filing for unemployment. Just because you get fired doesn't mean you can't file unemployment. And they count all filers and then adjust them later for the ones that get kicked out. So somebody wanted to debate me on that, but that's kind of the way it works. I've read in depth on this, and in the olden days, back here before the internet was popular, it was all just guesstimates. Like they just guessed how many people probably lost their job every week, and then later on, when the mail came in and this and that and the other, they could get the reports and stuff like that. Now there's still some states out there that have antiquated systems that aren't actually digital and can't give you a number of filings each week. There's still some states like that. So this is an estimate, and it gets revised and revised and revised for several months, and then the real number, but they never change it on here. It's always just the number that's reported. So reading into the jobs number, the unemployment claims each week, it's a difficult, I find difficulty placing any weight on that. Hopefully everybody understands what I'm saying. If you don't, ask questions. So, yeah. And Kimberly in the chat, it was ridiculous, that kid getting fired. And he's an Eagle Scout. He's a good nut. Anyway. And that's, as Kimberly says, he's reliable, hardworking. Anyway. So anyway, he's not. I think he's whatever's below Gen Z. So here you go. That's the nut for the week. So that was basically the last, the only real red economic news wise thing we had this week. Next week, we're already wrapping up the week here. Crazy. Have you not been entertained this week? So next week, looking at it, nothing on Monday. Tuesday, we got some PPI coming in right here. PPI. And last time they did PPI before CPI, we got some market chaos. So I'm just warning right here. They're doing PPI before CPI again. Something's up. It's not normal. Maybe it's just the way it worked out, but that's not normal. They don't usually report PPI before CPI. Something's up. All right. I don't know if it's something's up, we're going to pop, or something's up, we're going to drop. I don't know which way it's going to. Something's up. That's a warning. And then Thursday, right here. So we've got a week of economic news next week, almost every day. And then we've got Fed speakers going galore, popping out everywhere. Then we got building permits on Friday. Housing starts right there. So we got some stuff coming out next week. That's what that says. All right. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. All right. Moving on. Yeah, it's like every 15 years is a new generation. So as we get older, it seems like there's a crap ton of them. Anyway, just keeps going. Keep making new ones. Yeah, he is Gen Z. All right. I can't keep track what they specify people as. So there we go. That's the economic news for next week. And this week, like, it's been pretty benign economic news wise, but that doesn't mean it was benign market moving wise, right? Here's an interesting one. This one. This did a potential fifth wave down to a lower low, a little final fifth wave of the fifth wave. This might be a bottom in silver. I actually took a long position in some silver futures. I've got SLV. I bought on this drop back here on Friday. Well, I guess it was on this, right in here last week when we tapped the roadmap line and started moving up. I bought some silver SLV long term, 2026. We're talking about like $30 strike. So go out a long ways, buy it. When it pops, sell it. That's how that works. There was some debate yesterday about the YOMC. I had not looked at an option chain. Most of the time I don't memorize the option chains and what expirations. I had not gotten in the trade because the trade was valid overnight. So any of these daily chart things I bring, which I have a bonus trade today. If you hang out to the end, I have a bonus trade. Today, I have another one. So any of these that I talk about, I haven't looked at them because I'm not in them yet because they just fired off overnight. Like at the close, they set up the entry. At the open, they'll make an entry. And if I don't pull up an option chain while I'm live, I don't know. So I talked about, December being the time frame you should look at. Well, there wasn't a December option on YUM. So January, easy peasy. That's how you do it. All right. Just roll out. Anyway. All right. Welcome, everybody. It's been a week, right? It feels like it's been a month in the last week. Some people get very sour and mean when they've been losing, and I'm sorry. I took a big loss on Monday myself. The broker force closed me. I'm into a loss pre-market because of margin. They margined me out, booked a loss, and by the time Monday closed, it wouldn't have been a loss, like that position that they closed. I was very upset about it, still upset about it. Nothing I can do. Nothing at all. So it was a 5-figure loss. So I'm sitting in a margin situation, and I can't really trade much right now until I get this resolved. I got a lot of things that are illiquid. So I'm right there with you. All right. That's what I'm kind of saying. Like, I understand. I didn't disclose the details of that position because it doesn't really fit with any system that anybody needs to be messing with. It's a kind of an experimental thing I was working on, got jammed up, booked a large loss. Now I'm sitting on it, trying to figure out what to do. So anyway, S&P, it's very concerning. Very, very concerning here. And it's most clear right here. I want to show you a little something here. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this. So we broke down through the channel, made a low overnight, starting like this. I really, really, really need to see an impulsive move through this. And the impulsive move means trending, an actual trend move, not a corrective move. If we do more of like this was all 3-wave junk, just garbage. 3-wave garbage price action right here. Don't like it one bit. All right. This is not good for going higher. Now, the fact we did not make a lower low last night, that means this is still in play off this low. Like, as I stressed at my Termite Trading Lab in-person event in June, you start at the low. Where is the low? At this point, the low is right here, right now. All right. This is what we're focused on. Are we going to break higher? Go higher high? Or are we going to go lower? This is the low we focus on right here. Until we make a new one, this is it. All right, for where we're going. This was corrective up. All this action overlapped. Maybe a leading diagonal, maybe a WXY. I don't know which one. It's not going to tell me until we do the next thing. Now, kind of looks like a leading diagonal because we got a deep retrace here. I don't usually talk Elliott Wave stuff, and if this is over your head, don't worry about it. All right, just kind of follow along. You can rewatch it later. This is going to be on YouTube in perpetuity. So this moved up. It looks like a leading diagonal because all these, when you skip a cycle, this high, this low, they overlapped. This low, or this high, this low, skip a cycle, they overlapped. So it's all blah. Who took that bet with me? Who took the bet with me? MSTR would be Guess what? Guess what? Somebody lost the bet. That is not over 200. It is below 200. So there you go. MSTR below 200. Somebody lost the bet. Anyway, I bet you it was going to be under 200. And so now back to what I was saying. This retraced pretty deeply, close to the bottom. Yeah, it looks lower than 200 to me. So, all right. This retraced, now holding a little 3-wave up so far today. That high, that low, that one, and pushing up. If we can get through 5,300, this can start being impulsive, but it needs a 4-5 to complete, and a retrace that's 3 waves, hold a 618 or better, and then move up again. And I would like to see that bust through this right here. If we stop in this right here, this is all leading up to my point, all right? It's building the case, if you will. Now, if in fact, for those of you that know some LA wave stuff, if in fact this was an A wave down, which it was 3 waves, maybe it's an A, maybe it's a W, I don't know. That's debatable. If this does a 618 retrace of this whole drop being from right up here, we move it over just so everybody's clear what we're saying. Move it all over. And I have 2 fibs there for some reason. So that high, this low, right down here. This is the low. Okay. That is the 618 retrace. And then I had some commenters yesterday. What do you mean 618? It's a 61.8% retrace. It's a fib level. This is the drop. That would be 61.8% of the retrace. All right. It's just math. The market, more often than not, respects the 618 retrace. We either break through it and confirm we're going higher, or we bounce off of it and go lower. Now, it can come up shy at the 50% and can go a little deeper at the 786, and that kind of fits with the fuzzy zone that I always talk about. These fib levels are kind of fuzzy zones, all right? So there's the area. Now, I guarantee you not every, but every market algorithm out there could calculate this, all right? Many of them respect these fib levels. It's built into, like, humans just know how to do that, and it's built into them, all right? And so if we rally up there and we stop here and we turn down again, that would be especially if it's corrective. Like, we started out corrective. That's why this is so important right here. We start out corrective. If this continues to be corrective and we stop here at the B, at the 618 level, that sets up the pattern where we can echo the move down. First move down here, second move down here, and often for the second move down, we get an extension. That extension could be down to the 1618 right here. This is where it gets really, really kind of wild, okay? Now, earlier in the week, I was talking about 800 to 1,500 point potential crash type situation. Look at where, and let me put this back into log mode. Look at where this hits right here. 963 points. All right, if we put the C wave down there, that would be an extension of that first drop to the 1618. It would be 61.8% bigger than the first drop, which the first drop was 0 to A. All right, a lot of people thought this felt like a crash, right? This will be this was an A, a B, and a C. So this was a C. Now we're talking about this being an A, this being a B, and this being a C. So imagine this right here, this C wave, the way it felt like a crash, multiplied by this much bigger. All right, we're talking about this guy feeling like a crash in the market. Now look at how much bigger that one is. All right. See how much bigger that move is? Holy. This is why I'm like really nervous about how we rally from here. A couple people already told me I'm like, we're not gonna crash. I don't think that's gonna. It's not gonna be a real crash. Need to be prepared. If we rally up here and start holding any kind of support, or if we reject off of that pretty violently, be prepared. Like this might be a situation where you want to liquidate almost everything. All right. I don't know the nature. I don't know what the news is going to be. All right, over here it was the carry trade blown up or whatever, blah, 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 jobs. Depends on who you talk to. I don't think it had crap to do with anything except that I warned you it was going to drop and then it dropped. And now I'm warning you again. This might drop and it might be much bigger. Much bigger. All right, we're talking 963 points right there. Now, here's where it gets scary. 963 points, Here, we bounced off the roadmap line. If we come up here and flush, that's the 963, still the same. All right, we're just changing time frames. Watch this. Look where the weekly roadmap line is. All right, this is why it scares the holy bejesus out of me right now. Bejesus out of me. That's the weekly roadmap line. Look how long it's been since we've been there. Right here. March 23. March of 23. So that's a year and almost a year and a half. That's the last time we hit. And we hung out there for quite a while. All right. Look right here. We came down, bounced up, and then right down to it. Move right there. Go back to the daily. Go look for that one. And we came down kind of through the daily and then went down for the weekly. This potential's out there. I would be remiss if I did not warn everybody that this potential is on the chart right now. We're going to revisit the weekly roadmap line at some point. I don't know if it's right now. We have the setup that we could do it. Now, I talked to an analyst friend of mine for quite a while last night. She agreed that this looks pretty dang scary. And she posed the alternate theory that maybe we grind out to here before we do that flush. Out to the election. Maybe we grind right over here. Just kind of do a sideways garbly-gook thing. Just blah, right up over here. Maybe even push it kind of higher. And then do that. And just kind of blah, 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 like that. So watch out for that. Because we can do that. All right. He's sucky? Absolutely. Everybody understand? Any questions? I can answer it better while I'm live than I can on comments. Or you can come talk to me in Discord. If you're in Termite Trading Lab, we can have a conversation in that chat. All right? Hopefully you understand. If you don't, I can go through it again tomorrow or whatever. That's why I'm concerned right now. That's the concern. That's why when I say a big crash, that's the numbers that support. And then where does the 15x come from or 1500 come from? It's when we go all the way back down to the bottom here. That bottom. We can go visit that. All right. Yeah, it's possibly 1900 points down because that's another almost 1,000 points down. 1,800 points roughly. We can go revisit the bottom right there. And what's super scary, that's not even the monthly roadmap line. Last time we hit that, 2011. It's been since 2011. We didn't even get there during COVID. We got close. We didn't get there. We go hit that. Can't even push below it. So this is very, we can experience a market flush out like we haven't had in 15 years or more. So be careful. That's what I gotta say. You can argue or think it's not gonna happen all you want. There's no way we do that. That's exactly the kind of thinking that gets you in trouble and watches your portfolio disappear, evaporate. All right. I'll try to be on top of it. If we set up the scenario, I will do my best to warn everybody. I'm sure that many of you will come at me with pitchforks and be very upset because that's what happened on this little baby correction right here. This is just a little market route. This is just a normal little pullback. It wasn't even anything special. It was not a market crash. So, everybody okay? We got it. Good. Good. It's the same right now on S&P 500 chart as it is on ES. If you've never seen ES before, it's just S&P 500 futures. Can it go up? Yeah, we got to break through this zone. But the problem is we're topping out no matter what time frame we look at. We're topping out. It's just a matter of how long before we go do the monthly retrace. So this is why I'm warning you. But we'll probably set up another one of these if we don't go down now. We'll set up another one of these somewhere over here. That'll be the warning sign that we're going to do it. All right, this is like the beginnings of what'll look like a crash. All right. Well, right now it's potentially imminent in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I feel like, and possibly out to the election. All right, this is the red zone at this point. Keep coming back for more. I'll give you my best counsel on where we're at. It's like last week when I saw that shape up, I was like, oh crap, when we get to the FOMC, we might dump, and then we did. Came right to the roadmap line. I didn't expect it that fast, but it went that fast and went a little deeper than I even expected, and shock and awe. The market has a way of doing that. All right. So there we go. There we go. And NQ, basically the same situation. All right, this thing went a little deeper, looking like we could recover back up to that 618 level. Now, lots of charts look pretty good for going higher, so I'm not convinced this is the path. All right, that's why I'm not like sell everything, get ready, mortgage the house, mortgage the kids, mortgage the wife, mortgage the cars, get ready for going short. Not there yet. Lots of charts look like they can go on an extension and get that next push higher. Lots of stuff has that look, so. But everything's kind of running on fumes. We've got a lot of problems brewing. Inflation might rear back up, and then the Fed's in a jam, right? If they cut rates, if you believe inflation's tamed, I have a hard time believing it. Just watching prices, like I guess they slowed down a little bit, but they're still, things are still going up, for me anyway. RTY, sit on the roadmap line, doesn't quite have the same setup here. Doesn't quite have the same setup. Now this one can rally up here and set up the next move down. That zone right there. This one may have already broke on the first leg. And we may see a retrace. We may not see a retrace. This could be the retrace and we push lower here. It's the canary. If this one starts pushing lower, watch out for the crash in ES and NQ. CL. Very nice. Very nice. Just holding. I expect one more flush. I expect one more flush down to a lower low than what we had right back down here back in December. Retest this zone. One more flush. I don't know what it is going to be. You know, whatever. Oversupply, undersupply, Middle East war, whatever it is. Watch out. Probably going to be one flush. Middle East war can result in a pop. We may see something dip and then rip. I don't know which way it's going to go. Probably down before we go up. This is still a downtrend of highs. Right there. It's in the chart that we're probably going down before we go up. That was that unfinished on the downside. Needs that flush down right in that zone. Finish that up. So GC just churning, 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 burning, 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 and there's no clear direction at the moment. You know, maybe holding the prior highs hasn't done anything to convince me where it's going. Break above the 618 would indicate going on up to 2,500. And a break down below this breakout level across there would indicate maybe we're coming back down to the uptrend of lows or even the roadmap line. So BTC get a nice move up today. Let's go look at the spot market prices. Nice move up, but still stuck at this resistance zone, right? This consolidation we did before the last pop, guess what? It's resistance for going higher again. We can get above it, get above the roadmap line. Look, there's another consolidation right there. Got to get above that one, got to get above that one, got to get, then we'll have to get above the downtrend to go higher. But we've got the setup. We can do it right now. We need follow through. That's the big thing I'm watching for on Bitcoin. ETH USD. Just hanging. This may need one more, like this, the way this worked, 1, 2, 3, 4 consolidation, and it could last a little while, and then we need one more 5 flush out. That's what that looks like to me. That's what it looks like to finish up this move. Yeah. This last move, 1, 2, 3, consolidating here, and we'll likely get one more flush. That would be a buying opportunity if we hold it and then turn and break back above whatever highs we make right here in the next couple weeks. And this could churn for another 2 months in this zone before we do anything on Ethereum. Dollar, so far doing nothing. We're still below this. This is the resistance. If we break above that level right there, 103.70, probably going back up to the roadmap line. If we don't, mid-90s. Inkadi, Japan, the Nike D, Nike K, whatever, Nike, Nike Kiki. Roadmap line is the upside. That's Japan, still recovering. So this was blamed on the flush out spreading to the U.S. market. Maybe, maybe not. Carry trade definitely blew out, and still not fully resolved. So we may see another leg down. That just 3 whip 3. 1, 2, 3 at this point, down to a 618 support. Could be done, could not be done. I don't know. There's no clear reversal here. We need to move up, break through, come back, find support at a support level, and hadn't done it yet. And I don't know when it will. That's unclear until it resolves. Lily, Look at that. Nice pop on earnings, but alas, holding the 618. If we don't cross above it, it's not going to 1,000 yet. And it may, in fact, go lower, just like so many other things. We pop up, we get to the 618, and it sets up the move down to this zone right here. Extreme caution. Right there. PH. Packer. I've never even... Parker, Hannafin. I have no idea what these do. No idea. This is not a household brand for me. And 581, 591. Potential upside. LRCX. Watch for that continuation down to that zone. Right down there around 600. Possibly down to 500. ASML. Watch for continuation down to... I don't think we have an all clear on chips yet. I don't. Watch out for that bigger flush. Sezzle. Watch out for that to flush back down. Failed to break out. Maybe we go breaking out. The upside. This is unclear. I don't like the way we stopped here twice. It didn't hit the roadmap line back here. It's not been around very long. Could push out to 108, but it also very easily could push down, make a lower low than what we had back here at 10. That'd be sucky, but it very well could. NVMI is just hanging. Hanging right there. That high, that low. Turn down here, make another move down. That's the tell, that 618 level, the 61.8% retrace. If we hold that, potential to go down on NVMI. FNGU is a leveraged ETN. Excuse me. A leveraged ETN for FANG. And we're hanging under the roadmap line. That is resistance. We can get an extension lower if we keep hanging here. If we also have resistance here. And if we don't break through these gaps, there's a gap there and a gap there. If we don't break through them, we can result in a lower low. On FNGU, Duolingo, potential to make a bottom here, resistance at the roadmap line, and then this giant gap down. That's not a high probability situation for me. It's a lot of resistance to get through. Costco, looks like we may be pushing on down to the roadmap line because we haven't been down there since the breakout back here in May of 23. SN, Shark Ninja. Nice pop. That must have been a 4-hour bounce. Right up to it. Yep, 4-hour bounce right there. Gave you a potential entry here. Off of this low. Back here. Potential entry. And you're like, oh man, I'm debating my life choices. And then boom, right to the target. I got a habit of doing that right there. Meta did not fire off the entry yesterday. Pull back. Still has not fired off the entry. If we get above the 618 with a close, and watch out for that resistance. 558, 570, possibly 600 on the upside. MSTR. I'm not going to say it right because I don't want to. Nike, Naka. Not from, I ain't no Japanese. Anyway. Japanese, dirty knees. MSTR did the split. And guess what? Under 200. Win that bet. And so the new targets. All my old drawings are up here. So now I got to redraw everything. Don't you just love splits? That high, that low. Did it make a lower low? Nope. Yeah, this low right there. Very close now that you've divided it by 10. And it used to be very obvious that it wasn't a lower low. So now we fired off the entry and 213, 226, 260. Those are the upside targets. H row. Wow. Nice pop. I wouldn't have expected it, but right there it is at the target. 31. Can go up to 33, 40, and then we'll probably get another retrace back to the roadmap line. NVO. Yeah. No 200. Like, it's below 200. Can you believe it? MSTR is below 200. That's what a stock split does for you. Anyway, NVO. Sitting there doing nothing on the roadmap line. If we can bounce the resistance right up there at that gap, get above the gap, 151, 151, 155, possibly as high as 165 would be my next expectation higher. D-dog, dada-dog. Working on that reversal pretty darn hard. If we can get back above this stuff right up here, 143, 148, possibly 160 on the upside. Coin still hanging here, not confirming a reversal yet. Gonna have to get above this to confirm we're going on up to 302. SMH just sitting on the resistance here, can't get started. Next resistance up here under the roadmap line. That's a support resistance point. We're kind of like sitting there underneath. Not great. If we sit here, break through the 618, we can get up to 294, 305 right there. SOXX hanging out under the roadmap line. KVYO. I didn't free press. I didn't even use it for anything. So that's kind of funny. Stock splits. Yeah, Robert says stock splits are free press. I didn't take advantage of saying anything about it, so I just knew it was gonna be under 200. KVYO looks like a horrible, choppy, declining mess of making lower lows here. I would watch for that to rip down again. At least they don't lose money. Well, they used to lose money. They've lost money, even though earnings were positive. Lost money, lost money. Made money for the first time, looks like. I'd watch for that to drop. QQQ, sitting on resistance, support, resistance here. That's the danger zone. Same thing. All the things I said about ES and NQ applies because QQQ is NQ, just divided by 41. Z. If you didn't know that's the way it works, you divide NDX or NQ by 41 and you roughly get the QQQ price. Z for Zillow. There's a couple different tickers for this. Still watching for this to break out and go. This has the 1212 potential for a much bigger upside. I have a small position on, looking for that pop. DPST. Retrace to the roadmap line. There's the resistance, and there's the target. Resistance 102, target 126. CRH. Just hanging. It's kind of rejected that area a couple times, so we need to move above that one, or that move above 85 to signal we're going up to the 90 area up there, and that's not a huge mover. So AMAT. That one needs to come back up here. Otherwise, we run the risk of going down to 150. TSM. I try to look at these, relatively blank mind every day with no bias. Sometimes I can't get past my bias, but TSM looks like if we get above this 170 area, 201, bulls. That's looking kind of bearish. I'd be concerned. What is it telling us? Now, 4 things don't follow my patterns all the time. Low price stuff under $10. Leverage stuff. There's leverage stuff right there. Leverage stuff sometimes doesn't follow the patterns. biotechs or something else that don't always follow the patterns, and China stuff doesn't always follow patterns. So when I say biotechs, it means medtech, specialty pharmaceuticals, anything that the Food and Drug Administration of the United States is involved in. And then if you combine any two or three of those, like low price stuff and biotechs, or low price stuff and leverage stuff, or biotechs and leverage stuff, you know, be careful. They get an extra level of danger in my book. So CRD, CRWD, CrowdStrike. Looking for this to hold this area and turn higher. Gonna have to break above the roadmap line to signal we're going substantially higher. TMDX, that's medical specialty stuff. May need a retrace to the roadmap line. Aspen, Aerogels. This high, this low. Break above that high right there. Break above that. 33, 35 are the upside targets. QCOM. Potential for a measured bounce setup. Need to break above 180 at the minimum. PANW. I still think that one's going up here, but try my patience with a second roadmap test and a nested measured bounce. Snow. Still no indication that the bottom has been formed, although it met the minimum requirements. Need to see a reversal shape up. LABU. There's that leverage biotech. Two of those things I just mentioned. Leverage biotech may get a flush down. While this has a somewhat bullish setup to go up to 192, I don't trust it. Don't trust it at all. NVIDIA, leveraged NVIDIA. Watch out for that to flush. We're below support at the roadmap line. That can drop. If you wonder about this roadmap line, you've seen me show it like 900 times already. Link is in the description. It's like $5. You can go get it. Or maybe like $5. I need to buy my coffee. I can't afford $5. Well, you probably shouldn't be trading first. Second, that's cool. I got it for free. Just click on my logo right down here under my little name. Go back to my channel homepage and watch the video where I'm like, my favorite indicator. I'll teach you about it. I'll give you the code right there for free. All right. If you want an easy button to put it on your chart, it's $5. Links in the description. CVNA. Just churning. Looks like it wants to drop right back down. RH. Right there. Just churn and churn and churn and burn and burn and burn and sideways. I wouldn't bet on that doing anything right there. AMD. Probably coming on down. Oh, moving the wrong thing. Probably coming on down to this target zone. APLS. That's pharmaceutical. Be careful. Below the roadmap line, still downward bias. Probably going to make a lower low than we made back here. Something lower than that. ARM Holdings. We are below the roadmap line. Got a gap to fill. It would not surprise me if we gap filled. At least to here, if not making a lower low. IWM. Be careful. There's the resistance, and support is down here. USD. Sitting below the roadmap line. VST. Sitting on the roadmap line. Tesla. Sitting below the roadmap line. Has support here. And I talked about this a lot. Whatever day it was. Monday, I think. Maybe Tuesday. It has a potential to make a lower low if we don't hold this. Has the potential to rally up here if we do. And I still am holding my $500 target that I've held for years. TECL. Hanging out down here. This is 3x leverage stuff. Not indicating anything. XLK. Hanging out under the roadmap line. This can be a retrace. We got to get above this to go higher. 245. AVGO. Hanging out on the roadmap line. At least it's positive. At least it's on the right side. And break it above this. Gap down up here. At the 618 would be the indication we're going higher. that higher, 193 right there. APP, gonna have to break above this 80 level to get 96. NVDA, gonna have to break above the 618 and the gap right there. That is the resistance at this point. Been unable to get through that. If we don't, watch out for that. That lines up with the crash, right? Could come all the way down here, 40. That lines up with that crash scenario I was talking about on ES, S&P 500, and NQ. There's another canary for you. Watch that one. Watch it out. Watch it out. 4. Shift for payments. That looks sideways choppy, almost bearish. Might expect a flush down to 25. AXGN. No, thank you. I don't like that chart. Not one bit. Not one bit. Came down, made a lower low, move up, retrace. So far, not doing anything constructive. Could make a measured bounce here, but this is a biotech med specialty thing. FDA involved. While we could see a pop up to this $16, $17 area, we also could see a drop down here to $2. Google. Potential for this to pop back up. Watch for the rally to the gap. If we can get through the gap, could go on up to 196, 200 area, possibly even 213. If we respect the gap and turn down, that's part of the crash scenario. RCL, we can break above the roadmap line. I mean, not break above the resistance, 618 resistance line, excuse me. Could see 178, 184 on the upside there. XLV, that looks like it wants to retrace a little bit. Although it could be a 4-hour bounce here. Yep, could be a 4-hour bounce. No less reliable, just faster. 152. Frog. Decliners, stuff that was down today. And, oh, that one's down. All right. Definitely down. Didn't even make it to the 618. Sometimes they do that. Just to the 50 right there. That decline, first move down, retrace, almost to support. Could go lower low. It's kind of what I'd expect at this point. So we're going to go lower low than that low right back there. So watch for further decline on Frog. Dutch Bros. Talk about getting whacked. They have opened up several of these around town. Here in Knoxville. Right there. Potential to bounce, but that was very overlapping and corrective. This is what I'm concerned about on the S&P. Just a bigger picture right here. Look, see that corrective move up, that retrace. Like that can result in a lower low. Very, very easily. That's all kind of corrective. SRPT. Back up to the daily. Right down to the daily roadmap line. This is a pharmaceutical. I don't know if I'd put any weight on this doing anything except just chopping around. SCDG, Solar Edge Technologies. Probably going to continue lower down to 13 area down here. Monster got whacked. Look at that. Look at that. Right to the target. Right to the target. 43. Cha-ching. I put it out there. And it did it. I don't usually play earnings, but there you go. That's a potential to reverse from here and go higher. Could be complete on this correction. Right there. Day trade thing firing off like crazy. So there you go, right there. That one might be done. Watch for a reversal. It's going to take a move back up through the roadmap line to get me really interested in it at this point. And sometimes I get lucky. I mean, I don't even know what to say on that one. That was just absolute crazy that it worked. Go from this high to this low. Why not this high? because that was an intermediate play. While you can use that one, yeah, this is the resistance right here. Break through it, probably going up to 63, 65 area right there. Bumble. My gosh, man. That looks like he's going out of business. It's a dumpster fire waiting to happen. Just need a reverse split. ARHS. Our house. Our house. That's just sideways choppy. Nothing. INSM. Well, that's probably coming back to the roadmap line. Sooner or later, it's probably playing out. And watch for a large decline on that one. Celsius. Sympathy with Monster. Man, what a decline. Went from 99 down to 38. So for people that don't believe these 618 retraces and stuff can occur for just, no real reason. Look at that. That's almost 786. 786 right there. Stuff happens. And that's the bubble pattern, so it's probably going to come back to this zone. Right there. Maybe make a lower move than that. Could come all the way back down. Might bring it all the way back. That's the bubble pattern right there. Exponential up. If you're new here, you've never seen the bubble pattern I'm talking about, Google this, psychology of a market cycle. Right there. Look, this is very common. You'll see like 9,000 of these if you Google it. That move up. We run out of, everybody's a genius. Everybody's going to be rich. You hear people talking about it. You hear people, people that don't trade, you hear them talking about how awesome AI has been and make money on SMCI and NVIDIA, blah, blah, blah. They've got some hot tips for you, how to make a bunch of money. And then you get a pullback and some complacency. We just need to cool off a little bit before the next rally. If you've been around traders very much, you've heard them say this. You've seen people say this. You can go look at message boards. And then, uh-oh. And we come all the way back down to the bottom. And then you see people say this, suckers rally. I mean, I've seen somebody say all of these things. All of these things. Hang out with traders long enough, you'll see all these things get said right there. And I warned people on NVIDIA and SMCI, when people, like Goose said his flight attendants were telling people to buy NVIDIA. I think Donald had a window installer tell him to buy, gave him a tip to buy some NVIDIA. That's the warning signs that this is going to happen. Right there. And funny enough, SMCI hit an alert yesterday to close the puts. Back in February, when it was very unpopular for me to say, before we even made the high, back here, I warned if we go over 1,200 to buy some $800 puts out as far as you possibly can, and you would likely make big money. And you can go back in February. I said it many times on many morning monsters. And guess what? We're almost to the target. Took a while. I lost money on it. I didn't buy enough time. Thought it would go faster, but here we are. That was it's the cycle right there, like that. We're all going to be rich. There's the cooling off. And guess what? That's the bubble pattern. Shows up quite often. And it jives with my other pattern too. Like we did the retrace and we did the launch. It just went way through all kind of crazy targets. And that was why I started warning. When we got to ridiculous levels, only 1% of moves do a 686 without a retrace. That was a 1% move, or less than 1% move. It was going to go down. Coming on down. It's coming back to at least here, if not going lower. SAVA, probably coming back. Cassava Sciences, probably coming back to the roadmap line. And then the bonus trade, OKE, right here. Check this baby out. That high, that low. Fired off today. Target 87. Right here. I don't know if there's any options on this. Probably not. Maybe not. I don't know. It's not a name I've ever traded options on before, I don't think. And I brought, if I can find my, there's Discord. I brought a little information for you. Open this up, pull it over, right here. Check it out. So this fired off last night. That's why it says the entry is today or tomorrow, the next open. Has an 86% win rate, profit factor 1.686. That just means the winners are 1.686 bigger than the losers, and 68% bigger than the losers on average. 69 trading days is how long this works. 43 trades since 1968. So this has got a nice long history of this working out 86% of the time that this sets up in the chart. It's this same price pattern right here. The target up there, 87.55. Stop $1 below the low of the pattern. That low right there, 75.91. So put your alert here. And like crap's not working, set your alert here. Close the trade or protect it. Move your stop up in here. There you go. Another high probability potential trade right there on OKE. All right. Let me know in the chat if you enjoy these free, awesome, high probability trades. I'll keep looking for them. And hope you have a great day. I'll be back same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow morning. Set your alarm, set your notifications, hit the bell with the notifications. Give me a like, a thumbs up. If anything I said was helpful, beneficial, you like the free trade, anything like that. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.